You know you're off to a good start this year when instead of calling this the top 10 movies of the dump month of 2017, you call us the top 10 movies of early 2017. Since normally the early parts of the film year are kind of garbage, but recently, it's been pretty damn good, I gotta say, in terms of critical wise and box office success. So I think studios are starting to finally figure it out of not to put all their eggs in the basket of successful films in the summer or Christmas time. Now, when it comes to eligibility for this list, I am going to have to make some unfortunate cuts. Now, the rule is these films have been released in 2017, whether it was a limited release or a wide release. So no movies that were limited release in December or late 2016, but then got a full release in early 2017. So sorry to Hidden Figures or The Red Turtle, but you just aren't not eligible. Also, but I am going to make a little exception here. If a film did premiere at a festival in 2016 or earlier, but got the proper release in 2017, so no other releases in 2016 or earlier, then it's eligible for this list. I know it's kind of weird, but I just want to make this sure that it's a proper 2017 movie. So without further ado, let's begin our list at number 10, which is The Founder. Now, The Founder, directed by John Lee Hancock, the same guy who directed The Blind Side, gives us the story of Ray Kroc and how he pretty much made McDonald's the empire was. Now, funny thing enough, a lot of people think that Ray Kroc was the true founder of McDonald's, but in reality, he really wasn't. He was the guy who made it popular in a sense. And now, with a lot of biopics, you would think that they would make, the hero to be this lovable, warm guy that everyone can relate to. But what Hancock does very cleverly is, and so with Michael Keaton too, which by the way, he does a great job as playing Ray Kroc, is they make Ray Kroc out to be this kind of vicious, cold-blooded businessman. I mean, he's not evil in a sense, but, he's not exactly, Barney the dinosaur or anything. And so, yeah, I love how The Founder just shows the nitty-gritty of business and about the environment of the 50s up to, his death in the 80s. So it was just, a fantastic feature that I did not expect to be this good. It was released in January out of all times, so especially then, a film that, was released in January from the Weinstein Company. So, yeah, pretty good job. I mean, if you can find it on demand or on DVD or wherever, I highly recommend checking this one out. Believe me, you will not be bored by this movie. Alright, number 9 is the movie Life. Now, I already did review this, so I'm going to keep this one brief. Again, I like the acting chemistry in this. I love the visuals in this movie. I think when it comes to the story, it's not as strong as I hoped it would be, but the ending really helped it out a lot. A lot of people criticize this movie for, Ryan Reynolds not being in it enough, but, honestly, that didn't really bother me at the end of the day that much. But still, Life, I think it really gives a good perspective about, what would happen if, scientists tried to mess around with alien life. And so, yeah, I think Life, it is a pretty good film, but, I would still recommend it, truly. Alright, number 8 is Get Out. Now, what else do I need to say about this movie that hasn't already been said? I mean, first of all, fantastic acting, wonderful writing, just overall hilarious premise. And just, let me tell you a quick story. When I went to go see this movie on opening night, not early screening, but just the opening day of it, the audience and I were yelling / laughing with the movie. So it was what I really love about Get Out is just how interactive this movie is. I've never been to a movie that has been such interactive with the audience. It captures everyone's attention so well. And I think really Jordan Peele has a great potential to be a director. And not only that, but his potential, but his talent as a writer has really blossomed. And hopefully he gets more work in the future. Alright, number 7 is Beauty and the Beast. Now, this is the 2017 remake for those, just to be clear here. And I gotta say that this movie, for a remake, it does a pretty damn good job of, retelling the magic of Beauty and the Beast while bringing on its own originality. I love the set work of this movie. The acting is, really good. And the music wasn't annoying at all. I mean, the CGI, at first when I saw the trailers, I was kind of whacked out by it, but then after watching it in film, I really did enjoy it. I feel like this is probably my favorite live action Disney remake I've seen so far. I mean, The Jungle Book was pretty nice, but I think Beauty and the Beast like really tightened in, the CGI, the CGI slash, live action mix. I think Disney's got it down at this point, and the $1 billion box office marks, proves that. So yeah, Disney, keep doing these, but just, still be careful, Disney, still be careful. Alright, number 6 is Logan. Now, again, this is another movie that I do not need to say much about because a lot of people have already said about it. Again, great job by Hugh Jackman. Tremendous work by Patrick Stewart here. And, also, this is just, I love how low-key Logan is overall. I mean, it does have its violent moments and it has a lot of its action, but the overall tone of Logan, I think, is a lot slower and a lot calmer than, your typical Marvel movie. And that's what I think I love about about Logan. It's so unique compared to everything else. And, I noticed this is going to be the last time we see, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But hopefully he can take that same energy that he played as, Logan and put it into other roles in the future. So yeah, I really hope that Marvel continues this kind of Logan formula. Not over-exploiting it or anything, but just, kind of keeping it at this, slower paced and, more character-driven storylines instead of just focusing on explosions or just trying to, have the biggest battles ever. Now, speaking about superheroes, at number 5 is the Lego Batman movie. Now, when the Lego movie first came out, I was skeptical about it, but ended up loving it. So when I found out that the same team that made that movie was going to make the same kind of movie only with Batman in it, I was excited, but at the same time cautious, since I figured that, it'd be just another commercial for Lego and it would just be kind of too childish. And boy, was I wrong again, because as this movie is witty, it's funny, it's well animated, it's well paced, the voice acting is top notch. I mean, I can go on and on about the Lego Batman movie here, but it would get redundant, really. All I gotta say is that, the Lego formula, I think it has the potential really to become a full-fledged cinematic universe, in a sense. And I think, this is one of the times where I wouldn't mind a cinematic universe, since Lego has so much potential of what you could do with it. And I think Lego Batman, it nails down everything you want out of a Batman movie, mixed in with what everyone liked about the original Lego movies. So, yeah, really like this one. Hopefully there's a sequel made within the future. Alright, number 4 is a movie that I don't think a lot of people have heard of, but I just want to bring you to your attention anyway. It's a movie called The Last Word. It stars Shirley MacLaine and Amanda Seyfried, and this is a movie about Shirley MacLaine, who is an older woman who, who's wanting to end her life pretty much, and she wants an obituary written about her, and Seyfried's the writer. However, Shirley MacLaine's not the nicest person in the world, so Seyfried's got to get to know her better, and you may see where the story's going from here. And yeah, the story is at times a bit generic and predictable. However, the reason why it's at the number 4 spot is because of the chemistry. Yes, MacLaine and Seyfried work off of each other perfectly. This is probably some of the best chemistry I have seen all year so far. I mean, this is better than some of the chemistry movies I saw last year. I mean, really, these two, honestly, I feel like that they could be, honestly, daughter and mother working together. And it just, wow, I was really surprised by this movie. And too bad that it got a lower box office receipt than it did. I mean, this movie should have been more popular than it ended up being. But, I mean, I guess there's really a small market for these kind of, indie dramedies. So, yeah, if you want me to do a full review of The Last Word, I'll be happy to do it. Just let me know in the comments down below. Okay, number 3 is a movie called Colossal, and this is another one of those indie kind of dramedies, only it kind of leans more on the drama in a sense, and slash just some action. And this is a movie that stars Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis, and I already did a review on this, so if you want to go check that out, I will maybe put in the link in the description down below. But again, I gotta keep saying about this. Colossal is one of the most original movies I have seen all year long. And I've seen this pretty recently, actually. I think this is one of the most recent movies I've seen. And I gotta tell you, Colossal is nothing like I've ever seen before. This movie should be more popular, but it isn't. And just if Colossal's playing in your local theater, please go see it. This movie needs all the support it can get. So yeah, this movie will probably be in my honorable mentions, if not in my top 10/15 at the end of the year. That's how much I like it. Alright, number 2 should be no surprise. It's John Wick Chapter 2. When I did my review of this, I'm pretty sure a lot of you expected that I love this movie since of my high score of it. Yeah, 10 out of 10. And I'm just going to leave it at this. John Wick Chapter 2 really improves on John Wick. Maybe even better than John Wick at some points. I think Keanu Reeves still has it as an action star. And I can't wait till John Wick Chapter 3. And so, yeah, I honestly loved this movie so much. But my number 1 movie of the early 2017 is T2 Trainspotting. Now, for those of you wondering why I didn't do a review of this movie right after I saw it, it's because, I didn't have the time to do it. But let me explain quickly what this movie's about. So this takes place right 20 years after the events of the movie Trainspotting, and it's about how, Ewan McGregor comes back to Scotland because, he's getting a divorce from his wife, and he meets up with the crew, which, by the way, all the original actors are still back for this movie, and, it ensues from there. Now, I know I'm vague on the plot, but in order to explain T2 Trainspotting, I gotta explain, the events of Trainspotting, the original, and I don't want to spoil it, but let me just say this. It not only perfectly, represents it on its own as a film, but I think, it really nails down what makes a sequel great. Having, the same characters but developed, the time period that they're in, really fits with today. They don't force down the technology or, social media down your throat. I mean, they have that, there is this one rant about it, and it's hilarious, and they capture it correctly, I think. And what's another great thing about T2 Trainspotting is that all these characters do not feel outdated. They feel like, they've aged with the audience in a sense. And, I feel like that, 20 years down the line, this film's not going to be outdated. Rather, it's going to be a product of its time in a sense. Kind of like a time capsule, but the characters themselves, will always be memorable for who they are. They change, but at the same time, they don't change. And that's what I think makes a great sequel. In a sense. I mean, I could go more into this in a review if you really want me to, but let me just say this, T2 Trainspotting is something really that if you have seen the original Trainspotting, I would highly recommend you check this one out. I gave this a 10 out of 10 after I saw it, and there's a good reason why, because it is an absolutely, I think, perfect sequel. Well, guys, that is my top 10 for early 2017. Between now and till about August, I'm going to be going to the summer season of movies, and I will be promising I will be doing more reviews. So till then, this is White Rice signing off, and have a very good day. Bye.